You've probably been there. Sitting across from her, laughing, talking, but something feels off. She bites her lip for half a second. She plays with her hair, looking everywhere but at you. And there's this voice in your head. Is she just being polite? Or is this something else? Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most guys miss the subtle signs women drop when they're crushing hard. Signs that aren't obvious. Signs you could easily ignore. Until she's already moved on. Like when she lingers just long enough after saying goodbye. Was that nothing? Or was it everything? If you've ever wondered if she was into you, but weren't sure, comment below. Stay till the end, because I'll reveal the single most overlooked sign she's secretly obsessed but terrified to show. You probably didn't even notice. Most guys don't, because it doesn't look like a move. It doesn't feel like a sign. It's not obvious. No hair flips, no bold flirting, no dramatic declarations. Just a soft glance, a hesitation. A moment that slips through your fingers like smoke. And by the time you wonder if it meant anything, she's already convinced herself it didn't. Here's the brutal truth. Women are taught to hide attraction, conditioned to bury it beneath layers of ambiguity. While you were taught to go for what you want, she was taught to wait and hope you pick up the trail she's quietly leaving behind. It's like this invisible dance. She steps forward, just slightly. You don't notice. She steps back, tells herself she imagined the moment. I want you to picture this. It's raining, a gray afternoon. You just left the coffee shop, backpack slung over your shoulder, headphones in, eyes on your phone. She's still sitting at the table, stirring her drink long after it's gone cold. Her phone lights up with the time. She glances at the door. You're gone. She blinks hard, like she's trying to stop something from forming in her eyes. And then she leaves. You thought she was just being polite, just grabbing coffee like friends. You didn't realize she waited an extra 20 minutes after you left, just to gather herself. The truth is, most guys miss this completely, because the signs aren't loud. They're buried in the pauses, the lingering, the emotional undercurrents you were never trained to feel. Like that one time she asked you what kind of music you liked, and remembered the exact band 6 weeks later. Or when she laughed a little too hard at your joke, then got quiet for just a second, like she didn't know what to do with the spark that flickered up between you. Was it just friendliness? Or was it something more? That uncertainty? That's the first crack. That's where most men stop. But not you, because if you're watching this, you've already begun to question. You're already aware that something deeper might be happening beneath the surface. That maybe, just maybe, you've walked right past moments that could have been everything. So, here's your first action. Next time she lingers after the goodbye, after the laugh, after the glance, pause, watch, ask yourself, why didn't she leave the second she could? Sometimes the loudest message is the silence after everything else fades. And once you learn to read that silence, everything changes. You walk into the room. Her eyes are already there, waiting for you. But the second your gaze meets hers, she looks away. Quick, almost too quick. And in that instant, your mind starts spinning. She looked away. She's probably not into me. Maybe she's just shy. Or distracted. Or maybe I just imagined it. But here's the uncomfortable truth. She looked away because the stakes felt too high. Most guys think attraction is about direct eye contact. That seductive stare across the room. And sure, sometimes it is. But more often than not, it's the glance that almost happens. The one that never fully lands. The look she gives you when she thinks you're not paying attention. You've seen this before, haven't you? You're at a party. Music thumping, low lights, people swirling around you. She's across the room, laughing with her friends. You catch her looking. Her gaze lingers just a second too long, then snaps away like she got burned. She tucks her hair behind her ear, suddenly fascinated by her drink dot and inside your head. The same question comes up again. Was that something? Or nothing? Here's the hidden layer. Women glance when they're curious. They look away when they're invested. Because looking too long means showing her cards. And most women? They're terrified of being obvious, of being rejected, of being too easy to read dots, so instead, they play this delicate game. A glance here, averted eyes there, a soft smile that fades the second you notice it. She's not avoiding you because she isn't interested. She's avoiding you because she is. That's the emotional contrast most guys never see. They assume women are as direct as men when it comes to attraction. But feminine energy works differently. It pulls, it invites, it tests. And the moment you start seeing those fleeting glances for what they really are, you gain an entirely new power. Here's your move next time it happens. Don't look away. When you catch her looking, hold her gaze. Just a second longer than feels comfortable. Let a small, knowing smile curve your lips. Watch what happens. She either looked down, flustered, or she smiled back, letting the wall crumble just a little more. Either way, you've shifted the dynamic. You're no longer guessing. You're leading. You're the guy who notices. And that already sets you apart from most. Because most men, they'll go their whole lives missing this. But not you. Not anymore. There's something strangely magnetic about certain conversations. You know the feeling when everything just flows. When it feels like she's in sync with you, laughing. At the same pace, leaning in just as you do. Sipping her drink right after you take yours. You might chalk it up to coincidence. Chemistry, maybe, but it's not coincidence. It's biology. You're sitting in a coffee shop. The air is thick with that cozy, roasted warmth. She's across from you, smiling, fingers tracing the rim of her cup. You lean back in your chair, stretching slightly, and a beat later, she does the same, almost like she's copying you without even realizing it. Her legs cross. Yours were already crossed moments before. She's mirroring you. Most men miss this completely. They think mirroring is too subtle to matter. Or worse, they don't notice it at all because they're too focused on what she's saying. But here's the truth. When a woman is drawn to you, her body will often betray her before her words do. She starts matching your pace, your gestures, your energy, not consciously, but instinctively. It's her subconscious way of building connection, Dot. It's called limbic resonance, that invisible pull that happens when two people's emotional states sync up. Her body leans when yours leans. Her laugh softens when yours does. She picks up her drink right after you, matching your timing as if you rehearsed it. You probably never noticed it. Most guys don't, but women mirror for a reason. It's a primal way of saying, I feel safe here. I feel close. And here's the emotional contrast you need to see. You think it's just comfort, harmless friendliness. But inside her, it's a spark of something deeper. A pull she doesn't even fully understand herself yet. Now here's where this gets powerful. Once you notice her mirroring you, you can lead it. Shift slightly in your seat. Lower your voice. Lean in slowly. Watch if she follows. If she does, you've just confirmed her attraction without a single word spoken. And let's be honest, most guys wouldn't catch this in a million years. But you're not most guys. You're the type who notices the quiet details. The ones that matter. And once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. So next time you're talking to her, slow down. Become aware of your movements. Adjust your posture intentionally. And when she mirrors you, let that small, confident smile creep in. Because now you know something she doesn't even know about herself yet. She's already drawn to you, and she's showing it in every move she makes. There's this moment so small, so easily dismissed that most men overlook. But if you pay close enough attention, you'll start to see it everywhere. It happens when she's sitting across from you, laughing at your story, but her fingers won't stay still. She plays with her necklace, twisting it between her fingertips. She tucks her hair behind her ear again and again, even though it doesn't need adjusting. Her hand grazes her lips for no apparent reason, and you might think she's bored. She's distracted. She's not present. But what if I told you? Those fidgety little movements, that soft self-touch, they're not signs of boredom at all. They're signs of desire. Here's the emotional contrast at play. You're watching her twirl her ring, fiddle with her straw, adjust her sleeve, and you assume her mind is somewhere else. But inside her head, it's the exact opposite. Her thoughts are racing. Her heart is thumping louder than she'd ever admit. Because when a woman feels drawn to a man, her nervous energy needs an outlet. She fidgets, not because she's not paying attention, but because she's too aware of you. Every little movement is her body's way of releasing the tension. She feels around you. Imagine this scene. It's a dimly lit restaurant. Soft candlelight flickering between you. She's listening intently as you tell her about your latest adventure. But while you speak, her fingers keep circling the stem of her wine glass. She bites her lower lip for half a second, then lets it go. Her hand grazes her collarbone as she adjusts her necklace once again. You probably thought she wasn't listening, that she was distracted by her own thoughts. But here's what's really happening. Inside, she's overthinking everything. Do I look okay? Did I laugh too loudly? Does he notice how nervous I am right now? She's spiraling. And that fidgeting? That's the smoke rising from the fire. She's trying to hide Dot. Now here's the move that separates you from every other guy. She's met Dot instead of assuming disinterest. You lean in. You lower your voice just slightly and say, with a playful glimmer in your eye, "You always play with your necklace when you're nervous." Watch her reaction. She'll freeze for a split second. Eyes wide, a shy smile creeping. Across her lips. Busted. You've just cracked her open. You've shown her that you see her. Not just her words, but her energy. Her vulnerability. Most guys miss this. But you're not most guys. Because the man who notices her fidgeting isn't just attractive. He's magnetic. Next time you spot it, don't ignore it. Let her know you see it. Playfully, softly, confidently. Because once she knows you can read her without her saying a word, she'll never look at you the same way again. There's this moment that every guy has faced at least once. She cancels plans. Again, the text comes in. "Hey, so sorry, something came up. Can we reschedule?" And right there, the frustration kicks in. You think, she's not interested. She's playing games. I should just move on. But hold on, because this is where most men get it completely wrong. There's a paradox buried inside. Her behavior, one that's easy to misread but changes everything once you see it clearly. Picture this. You've been texting her back and forth for a few days. The chemistry is good. Playful banter, some late-night conversations, maybe even a little flirting slipping through. You set a date. She agrees. Then, hours before you're supposed to meet, that dreaded message lights up your phone. "Hey, I'm so sorry. Something came up. Can we do another time?" You stare at the screen, jaw clenched. Instantly, your mind starts spinning. She's not serious. She's playing me. Why even bother? But then, a day later, she texts again, out of nowhere. "Hey, how's your week going?" "Wait, what?" Here's the emotional contrast. You're missing. Her flakiness isn't always disinterest. Sometimes it's fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of messing it up. Fear that she'll get too close, too fast. This is what I call the flaky but present paradox. She cancels plans, yes, but she keeps coming back. She's distant, then suddenly warm. She pulls away, but never fully lets go. And inside her, it's a tug of war. She wants to see you. She thinks about you more than she admit. But every time it gets too close to becoming real, her mind floods with what-ifs. What if I'm not what he expects? What if I say something stupid? What if he doesn't actually like me back? So, she does what feels safe. She postpones. But here's the key. She doesn't disappear. She lingers. She checks in. She leaves little breadcrumbs, testing if you'll still be there. Most guys get angry and walk away. They delete the number. Block her. Burn the bridge. But the ones who win? They read between the lines. They stay cool. They don't reward flakiness with endless chances, but they don't take it personally either. They recognize that some women need to feel safe before they can show up fully. Here's your move when it happens. Stay calm. Keep it playful. Say something like, "No worries. Let me know when you're actually free." Then wait. If she circles back and follows through, you've got her full attention. Because the truth is, she didn't flake because you weren't worth it. She flaked because, deep down, you were . And you're not the guy who chases. You're the guy who understands. There's something you've probably never noticed. Not because you weren't paying attention, but because it's hidden in plain sight. It's subtle, slippery. And once you see it, you'll never unsee it again. It's the way she echoes you emotionally, not your words, not your actions. Your energy. It starts off small. You're joking around, telling a funny story. She laughs, light and playful, leaning in, matching your rhythm without even thinking about it. She's right there with you, on the same wavelength, laughing just as hard as you are. But then, you shift gears. You start opening up, maybe about something that's been stressing you out, or a struggle you've been carrying around quietly. Your voice softens. Your body language changes. The mood dips just slightly. Watch her closely. Suddenly, she shifts too. Her laughter fades into a more serious, tender tone. Her posture softens. She leans in, just a little closer, her eyes steady on yours. The room grows quieter, not because you planned it, but because she's following you, matching your emotional state like a mirror. This isn't an accident. It's an instinct. Women don't just listen to words. They absorb emotional energy. And when they feel a deep pull toward a man, they unconsciously begin to mirror his emotional shifts. It's her way of saying, without words, "I feel what you feel." Picture this scene. You're sitting together on a park bench as the sun goes down, laughing about something ridiculous. Her eyes are sparkling, her smile easy. But as you share something personal, maybe a rough patch you've been through, her entire demeanor changes. She's no longer giggling. She's fully present, soft, listening with her whole body. You think it's just empathy, that she's simply being kind. But it's more than that. This is emotional investment. She's tuning. And because, whether she realizes it or not, she cares. She's giving you her full attention, adjusting her energy to yours, because she's emotionally aligned with you. Most men miss this completely. They think attraction is only about laughter, flirting, teasing. They don't realize that emotional matching is one of the deepest signs of connection. And here's the hidden power. Once you recognize this, you can lead the emotional dance. Next time you're with her, deliberately shift your energy. Move from playful to sincere, from light to vulnerable. Share something that requires her to feel with you, not just laugh with you. Watch how she responds. If she softens with you, echoes your tone, leans in with genuine interest, you've just unlocked her emotional investment. Because she's not just there for the laughs anymore. She's there for you. Most guys will never know this even happened, but you will. Because now, you're the man who can see what others can't. And once you notice her emotional echo, you'll realize she's Already been showing you everything you needed to know. Let's pause for a second. By now, you've probably had this quiet, sinking realization creeping up on you. Maybe it hit you back in that chapter about eye contact. Or during the part about nervous fidgeting. Somewhere along the way, you probably thought, wait, has this happened to me before? And the honest answer? Yes, it has. In fact, it's probably happened more times than you'll ever know. But it's not your fault that you missed it. Most men are taught to look for the wrong things entirely. We're trained to spot bold signals, clear, direct signs of attraction. The kind of obvious moves we're familiar with: flirty touches, exaggerated compliments, explicit invitations. But women? They don't operate like that. Feminine attraction is subtle. It's indirect. It lives in the unspoken spaces between words and glances that don't linger quite long enough. In the way her energy shifts when you enter the room. And here's the brutal truth. Most guys don't want to hear. It wasn't that she wasn't interested. It's that you were never taught how to see. You were taught to look for fireworks. When her signals were more like candlelight, soft, flickering, easy to miss if you weren't tuned in. Think back. The girl who kept showing up in your DMs, always asking about your day, but never saying anything outright. The one who laughed too hard at you jokes, but pulled back the moment things felt too personal. The friend who lingered after everyone else left, acting like she forgot her jacket or needed another drink. You didn't notice it then. You probably wrote it off as friendliness or coincidence. But now you're seeing it differently. Those flashback moments, the missed glances, the canceled plans followed by quiet check-ins. They all connect now. And here's the part that should hit you deep. You've likely been the center of more silent crushes than you'll ever realize. But today, something shifts. Because now, you see it, you feel it. And next time, you won't miss it. Here's your move. Start replaying those old memories, not to regret them, but to sharpen your instincts. Watch your present conversations more closely. Slow down. Pay attention. Because from here on out, you'll never be the guy who walks away blind. You'll be the guy who notices. And trust me, that alone makes you rare. Everything changes the moment you start noticing. Because once you've seen these signs, really seen them, you can't go back to the old way of moving through the world, oblivious and uncertain. Suddenly, every glance, every subtle laugh, every lingering pause takes on new meaning. You stop chasing. You start recognizing. And that shift, it's powerful. Picture this. You're at a crowded bar. The music hums in the background, low enough to feel but not loud enough to drown out thought. You catch her eyes on you from across the room. She looks away fast, but this time, you don't question it. You know exactly what that was. She fixes her hair, glances again, this time holding your gaze for just a heartbeat longer. She doesn't even realize she's doing it. But you do. And here's the difference between the man you were and the man you are now. Before, you would have second-guessed yourself, wondered if it was all in your head, walked away without ever knowing. Now, you lean back, calm, collected, with the quiet confidence of a man who doesn't need to chase anything, because you understand something most men don't. Attraction isn't about forcing or convincing. It's about seeing what's already there. You're not chasing her attention anymore. You're holding space for it. You're aware of the subtle pull, the invisible dance, and you know exactly when to lean in and when to simply let her come closer. You don't need cheesy lines or over-the-top moves. You just need presence, because when you become the man who notices, you become the man who naturally draws women in. That's the hidden power of knowing. And here's your final action step. Something simple, but game-changing. Next time you sense even the faintest trace of one of these signs, whether it's mirrored body language, nervous fidgeting, emotional matching, Or that soft glance from across the room. Don't act. Immediately. Pause. Let the moment stretch. Let her feel seen without words. And then lean in, just slightly. Hold her gaze. Keep it playful, calm, effortless. Because now you're not reacting. You're responding from a place of quiet certainty. You've become the man she's been silently hoping would notice all along. And trust me, that's a man very few women forget. Remember these 5 hidden signs she's crushing on you. She almost makes eye contact, then looks away fast. She mirrors your body language, tone, or energy without even realizing it. She fidgets or self-touches, playing with her hair, lips, jewelry around you. She's flaky, but always circles back, keeping you in her orbit. She subtly echoes your emotions, playful when you're playful, soft when you're vulnerable. Rewatch this before your next date, because now you're not just watching her, you're reading her. And trust me, that changes everything.